This is episode 45 of Constant Elevation. My name is Jamal. It's like Jamal with a T. Got a legendary co-host, Brother Jay, X-Clan, Brooklyn, New York City, joining us. As always, we do this each and every month, building on hip-hop topics and sometimes life in general, as tonight is going to be. All of our past episodes are on the YouTube channel, and we're going to rock. First, I just want to let you know, Instagram's bugging. I'm glad we're able to do the show, but I don't anticipate really anybody coming in just because it's crazy right now with people.
Wow.
They're just hiding shit. So we always get this up on the YouTube channel. It's weird. I can't see when when people are going live. It's a lot going on. So
Yeah, man, it's nutty, man. There's so much shit that's going in catastrophe mode and shit. That's part of the conversation today, man.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at that case where the young man stabbed a football player in the chest at school and shit, and to a point where it's like split up on how people are saying self-defense, versus, someone trying to put on some kind of white privilege moment or whatever. And I'm like, at the end of the day, is, young man killed on school grounds and shit. And that's, what I'm saying, where does this thing begin or end? Where do we start training our children how to handle critical situations? You know what I'm saying? If you're on the school grounds, you know what I'm saying, the need to feel to stab someone in their heart or their chest or whatever case may be, is like the last resort. You know what I'm saying? And that's like if these dudes had cornered him and was raping him or something, or, you know what I'm saying, or, putting him in a situation like a serious stomp down was getting ready to happen, But, the death is the last resort, man. And it's kind of like, people are reacting like it was a good thing for him to defend himself. And this is what we tell our children every day. Like, we want them to come home, and I'm sure somebody who gave him the switchblade, these dudes are living in country towns. The rules are a little different. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you living in New York. New York, how to, the cities, the violence is very random and shit. But, like I said, the death is the last resort. It's not the first option.
Yeah.
And I wanted to build with you, to get your reflection on it as well as some of the audience and whatnot. Like, if this had been a female, approached in a school situation, and two bigger men are approaching her, and your thing is like, if anybody tries to do whatever, use this little switchblade, I'm gonna put in your bag or whatever, and she ends up having to stab one of these motherfuckers in the neck. You know what I'm saying? And is that all we're teaching them? Like, go out hard, or is there some kind of level of training that we can offer, self-defense or stronger security, something, you know what I'm saying? These are serious situations, bro. And it's happening. It's more than what people are reporting. This is happening all over.
Right.
The two students the other day, one student shot this kid in his back 12 times. How you shoot somebody in the back? Where's the threat? And tried to call the same self-defense. And I'm saying, what kind of TV programs are y'all watching where you feel like, your strike out on violence and your mental moment and shit is supposed to be covered in self-defense? I don't get it.
So I'm glad you brought this up, because you're bringing it up and what you're sharing is an unpopular opinion, and I'm responding in probably an unpopular way, like, because the racial shit immediately comes up, right? And it's like, I look at this. I'm a practical dude. I just look at facts. So I'm like, okay, a track mate. I ran track for 4 years.
Yes.
I didn't bring no blades to a track meet. Like,
Right.
I wasn't in that frame of mind. So to me, that's problem number one. It's like let's just look at it another way. Like, if you got a gun, if you bring it out, there's a chance you may use it because you got it out, versus just, oh, it's in the crib for just, okay. So it's a different vibe. I mean, when I've carried a gun out in public, I feel different.
Yes.
So that's the first thing that's kind of interesting to me, or like, mistake number one. And then I guess you brought up a really good point, though, about just training and de-escalation. We are not skilled in that as a people, and just there's levels to get to things before you pull out the gun, the knife, or whatever, and take somebody's life, like anybody's life. I think there has to be, if you're a human being, there's got to be some levels to some shit, and it's like, but it's unfortunate now because it seems like our youth and even some of our older people, like in this day and age, it seems like the first response to a conflict is taking somebody's life, not even fighting, killing somebody, and that's.
Correct. And I'm saying this is a point that we've been consistent with in our program as far as the music, the entertainment, the state of mind that the young generation stays on, always on amp. It kind of lends to this moment, dog. You know what I'm saying? The anarchy is kind of spilling, spilling out in a different way now, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, cats are on some murder kill mentality, dog, and that programming is going against us. It's like one kid goes to the grave and one goes to jail for life. You're not going to sit in these country towns and expect to get off. You went to stab this kid in the chest.
Yeah.
Yo, man, you might have to take some lumps and get a good stab to the leg or something like that and get out of Dodge or something. And I'm not promoting the violence, man, but somewhere where it's like, I meant to get out of there and leave them with their life enough to go and get to a coach. It's not like you were walking down a dark alley or some shit and got cornered, nigga. That's different. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You at a track meet, dog, a young black kid running out of the tent, hollering at the top of his lungs. I'm sure somebody's going to come to your service,
Right.
But no one trains the children in critical thinking, dog. If someone comes in the classroom and start shooting up the classroom, what's everybody's reaction? Go under the desk? You know what I'm saying? What's the next measure? You don't even have that conversation with these kids. The most security that schools do is like ring the bell like a false alarm and everybody lines up and goes outside. It's like some kind of, bitch break or some shit, man. It's not no real security training type of situation. And I'm wondering, like, we give children to these schools for 5-6 hours a day, if not more, and you're going in there just getting dead book knowledge and shit. You're not getting anything you can use in real life, dog. So
Right.
when a critical situation happens, like if you get into violent altercation at school, this is what you do. I'm not seeing where that conversation is applied, dog.
Yeah.
I
So
don't see.
there's a couple things. So someone made a point here, and I figured this would come up. Said they were saying that the two brothers were well-known bullies, and they approached Karmelo, put hands on him, told him to touch him one more time, and you're going to see what happens. Okay, so that's what we've heard that happen. My grandmother used to tell me, if anybody puts their hands on you, make sure they regret it. But there's a difference between that and saying, like, yo, we got split seconds to make critical decisions sometimes. And so, like you said, the training needs to be there to, like you said, poke him, just wave it. Like sometimes that's just enough. Did you have to? Like, I mean, I'm just saying. And again, so because this conversation is not a popular one, right? Because it's like we should be like, oh, it's self-defense, self-defense. But I'm like, all right, I'm always looking at like my situation. What could I have done better to in this situation? So in this situation, I'm like, man, this could have been avoided. And even known bullies, it's like wave it out. Like, and again, you're in a crowded place, so it seems like there might have been. Again, I wasn't there. It seems like there might have been an out to dip out or something. So I just and I look.
It might not have been that many people because, bro, if you put a knife on somebody, he drops. I'm sure anybody that's with his crew is gonna stomp that kid out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not thinking that your crew was there. If your football buddies was there, though, I think they would have stomped Tommy out and left him right next to him.
Probably.
You feel me? This is a lack of security on a major level.
Yeah.
Whatever they felt they were protecting in that tent, they didn't feel safe with the security that was there, and to a point where the security doesn't even see an altercation like this happening. Fuck the rain, fuck anything, dog. You know what I'm
And
saying?
how is
You gotta watch kids. You gotta watch kids at all motherfucking time, man. Niggas will be fucking the cheerleaders in the bleachers or some shit, nigga. You gotta walk the grounds. You know what it is. Just on that level
that's right.
alone. I'm
Of
just
course.
being 100.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. Yeah.
Just being
And
100. That shit happens. That could be a rape. That could have been a rape. The dude who did the stabbing could have been a female. And you're gonna walk over to her put her hands, and this is the thing, you put your hands on the dude, you grabbed him like you was some kind of authority, and I'm saying, like, what gives you the privilege to feel like you own shit, man? You know, don't put your hands on people. I feel that he should have called security, like, yo, man, could you tell homie to move on out? So, he's around our shit. It's raining. We're in and out of the tent. Could you let them go to the shit? You should have did that, but you felt to grab this motherfucker, throw his phone on the ground. You throw shit. You can't even take a phone from a young nigga nowadays. Like, give me your phone. As a parent, nigga, you have to get into a squabble and shit. So you imagine somebody taking your horn and just crushing on the ground. That means you want to fight, nigga, to the death, bitch. On a young nigga level, we don't give a fuck about things as older people and shit. These are material things. It's like, yo, take the wallet, take everything. If I have to kill you, nigga, just take it. But in their shit, you gotta, you stand on your ground. And I'm sure the person that gave you the knife is like, yo, man, you in the South. You telling the motherfucker, yo, man, come home. If anything happened, wave this around, do whatever. Yo, man, he didn't have the opportunity to wave it around. Motherfuckers was on him. If you was if you were close enough to stab a motherfucker in the heart that's bigger than you, dog, that means that motherfucker was on you, dog. Mm. And I think this is a lack of training on many parts, man. Like, yo, parents don't train their children in basic self-defense. Yo, man, if somebody roll up on you, this is what the fuck you do. This is how you handle critical situation. Try all things before you have to strike out in death, my nigga. Really? Yeah. What the fuck?
And you made a good point too about from the other kid's angle, the victim's angle, the kid who got stabbed. His. I mean, I've been at track meets. I know what it's like to have. I mean, it's like 50, 60 schools at these shits, man. And there's people. I mean, they last for like 10 hours. It's like, so, there's shit all around. Sometimes I've lost bags and stuff because we got same colors as other teams. So that's why you have your designated area. And so the thing is, yes, you got to. This is why you have authority figures, right? Like, to handle shit. Like, yeah. So you may say something to the kid, but yeah, then you find the coach, you find whoever. There's officials walking around there. Well, like, so that's on that side. I mean, this whole thing is tragic, man. It's tragic because, to me, for a couple of reasons. You have a kid who lost his life. You have another kid going to jail, or perhaps going to prison. They want to try him as an adult for going to prison for something that he probably regrets doing, and then you have the race shit that utterly comes from it and just fucks the whole thing up, in my opinion, even 10 times more.
Doubt. The internet totally fucks it up because now it's opinionated. Now a Southern nigga's gonna tell you, well, you don't know what you're talking about, New Yorkers, because it's different down here. Niggas will fucking lynch you or whatever. Fuck, maybe, yo, man, that shit is relevant anywhere, bitch. That don't tell me about the levels of survival. It's hard for a motherfucker to get on the train or the bus, nigga. Light niggas on fire on the goddamn train. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Violence, people are sick in the fucking head, man. But this is a thing where both sides are not respecting authority enough to say, let me holler at a security motherfucker right quick before I get into this. That's the reason that older people call the fucking police. Like, yo, I wanted to be on record that I tried before I have to pop somebody in my fucking yard, dog. We kind of learn to respect. In the back of our mind, it's like, damn, it's hard to trust these niggas, but y'all have the licensing to protect and serve. Let me leave a receipt that I tried to do something before I call the motherfucking authority. You know what I'm saying? I'll call the authorities first before I have to kill you, nigga.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. It's the lack of training. As you bring it up, I was just thinking, man, like, yeah, like that training amongst, like, it's clear that the school didn't really train the kids either, in terms of just, okay, we're here and this, if we go to team event, whatever, we move like this or whatever. Like, my thing is, like, where's the security? Where's your team and stuff? And these events are big, so like I said, sometimes you got like an hour before your race, so like you're just fucking around sometimes or whatever. But the training was not there on both ends, man. And when I heard about this story, I'm like, damn. And this was like the day it happened. I immediately went to, damn, this about to be some crazy racial shit. We're gonna be looking at the wrong shit, kind of. I mean,
correct.
Rather than like some of these things points, because no one's bringing up the point you're bringing up. I read about this and I prepped for this talk. It's like no, you don't see like where did we fail our youth? We see killer, victim,
Yeah, they
the
running the father out of the place
hype
and all kind of crazy
train.
shit. You know, tell the truth. You thought Pops was gonna come in there and start popping on you motherfuckers on the spot, man. My son is dead, and you up here talking about racist shit and don't blame this person and that person and shit. And when the boy's father, who died, walked in, they felt like, oh shit, is this motherfucker gonna go postal? We have these strange stereotypes. If I just watched a white individual run through 20 people at a church, I can only imagine what a man coming in the room talking about my son is gone. What the fuck is on your mind? Why would you even want to be here around us? So when they act paranoid, they say, yo, man, get that nigga out of here. It's both sides fearing each other. Because how does he put an arm around y'all to say, oh, yeah, I forgive you for killing my son? so it's levels of miseducation on both sides. You know what I'm saying? When these people are rallying and doing their thing and accepting all these cash apps and bullshit and all this other thing, you think we're rallying up to say, yay, yeah, I'm glad you killed this white kid. That's what the fuck is supposed to be about. It's not rallying up against this motherfucker. It's making sense of this thing before you throw this kid's life away, because you're talking about death penalty for this motherfucker. And where's the thin line of where he's supposed to protect himself, dog? Right. If his auntie gave him that knife and say, yo, boy, you know these motherfuckers crazy out here. Don't be walking these backwoods. Take this knife with you. That's happened to me as a young man. So, it's different for us, dog. And I'm sure, and I'm not gonna say make it a black thing, but I'm just saying, for anyone saying to their child, this is a senior in a fucking country environment, we don't know what it's like in these small motherfucking towns, for real. But you have to have some kind of protection on you. Just the way violence is portrayed today, it's a number one thing. He may have to defend himself from a couple of black kids who are on some thugged out shit, man. You never know what the fuck. Fuck it just being a white dude, dog. This could have been a female. If you telling me two men are gonna walk up, grab the girl's phone, there's no communication for her to go, emergency, help me, I'm in tent 5. You smash the phone, grab this motherfucker by the back of the arm, you mourn the motherfucker. What do you give a nigga choice to do, dog? If it's a female, and every woman would say, oh shit, they might have raped her, you better just give her the benefit of the doubt. This is a young man. What the fuck is the difference? These men are fucking on men now. So these motherfuckers might have been posturing up to say, yo, man, let's make an example of you. Let's whoop your ass and throw you out here. Strip your clothes. You in football, niggas are funny in football, dog. If you playing football, they stack up on your ass and lay out on your ass. For those motherfuckers, unnecessary roughness, the whole shit. So your mentality is like, oh, no, y'all not going to catch me like that. And you trash my phone. If it was an innocent thing, don't trash my horn and cut off my communication, because I could say, yo, coach, I'm over here, these motherfuckers is fucking with me. You killed that. You cut off my shit. Now not only am I angry, I'm afraid, bitch. All right? And then you got the student that's never trained, like, yo, don't be a citizen, a super citizen. Don't be around here trying to tell people control. Always contact the coach, let them know what's happening. No altercation between students. You stress that shit. And they didn't stress that shit. There's no education in this, and now it's going to be great racial divide. You already threatened the judge life. You done did all kinds of shit. If she roots and the phone and say it's self-defense on the boy's behalf, the way that you crouched on him, the way that you approached him, if you came over there and say, hey, nigger, get out this goddamn tent, if that's heard on the footage, you already know what the fuck that is. You would have to let him off. And we don't even have all the evidence.
You said they're threatening the judge?
They threatening the fucking judge, dog. Like, if she don't make the right decision to put this motherfucker in jail or on the death penalty, is going to be motherfucking issues, dog. This is crazy.
Yeah.
At the same time that people are revenging their sons and shit from the wrongful death on the police shit, and then you run the fucking white cop over, that's another racist shit. So the racial stack is growing. And the attitude is going to fall back on the people, dog. All right? And if we're not preparing the kids how to handle a critical situation, you're going to get a lot of that, hey, nigga, shut the fuck up at school. You're gonna get a lot of disrespect from black kids to white kids who feel they taking an attitude toward this thing. It's gonna be crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna, because you already know how young people and just people in general, the world, we're pent up, right? Shit's shit's on edge. Presidents wilding out, whatever. Like it's just, so everything on 12, right? So it's already escalated, and then what to speak of, like you said, there's going to be a lot of nonsense from this, and and conversely, if he does get the death penalty or something, like it's bad all the way around, and it's only getting worse, like you said, because of the internet and crude that the shit I see on the internet, like social media. Not it's like wild, man.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah,
These are people just speaking out in straight hatred, like, yeah, go get them and all this other shit. Yo, man, we tell our children to protect themselves, but avoid having to kill unless it's something to where your life is really, really in threatened, dog. If you got the switchblade, two motherfuckers is coming, hit one in the leg, dog, run out that tent with all your strength, nigga, and holler at the top of your lungs, dog. Period.
yeah,
Period. Get to the people that you came with, man. Don't wander
right,
out here. And really, when I move around with groups of kids, if I'm coaching or whatever, if you can't see me, you in the wrong, nigga. Period.
right,
You
right,
must see you. You must be able to see me from wherever you at on these fields or whatever. If I raise my hand for my team to gather, you coming to where I'm at. There is no
right.
dipping. There is no under the bleachers shit and going to smoke a joint behind the building and all of that. This generation is different. The respect levels are different on shit, dog.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to watch motherfuckers with a different eye, man. The whole team would be behind the fucking Coliseum or whatever the fuck you playing at, smoking a full blunt and shit before the game and shit, and don't give a fuck. Don't respect the authority, dog. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
fuck that. And some motherfuckers in my generation was like that too. I can't just say like we was innocent and
Yeah.
shit, man. But on the majority, we tried to stay on the up, dog. There
Right.
was some kind of principles to our shit. This is like total anarchy right now. You
Yeah.
let somebody smash your phone and get all in your face, and you lash out and stab a nigga in the heart, nigga. That takes a lot to stab through somebody's chest plate, my nigga. Jesus
But
Christ, bro.
yeah, it takes a lot for us, but does it really take a lot for these kids now? It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot. If you look at these kids or just let's just say the mentality of today, because older people have it too. It's not necessarily just the kids, right? But let's take this mentality here of
Yes.
nobody fights more, right? We know that nobody got hands. I've won fights, I've lost fights, I've
Yeah.
gotten jumped, I've jumped niggas, but and you like you live though. And so the thing is, man, like the tragic part about this is just like that again, that training is not there. This went from 0 to 100 quick. And because you said it's hard to do that, but I think there's already a mentality now with some of these kids. Listen, let me tell you something, yo.
Yeah.
I was at a light. I was at a light with my daughter, who's extremely attractive.
Yeah.
My younger daughter, she's 17. We were at a light. And it was about 7 high school kids on the side of the street, on the spot at the, and one of the kids kind of like walked halfway out to the street and was like, "Yo, that's your
Mm.
girl?" Because I look, I don't know. I said, "That's your girl?" I said, "That's my daughter." I said,
Yeah, well.
Get the fuck out of here, young buck." They, I went and like, but this dude raised up. He didn't have a hammer. He was like, what? I mean, he
Yes.
was like 16, 17. They went to his peoples. Yo, look at that dude. He talking shit. One of the kids pulled out a sword, nigga. A fucking. They
Wow.
had swords and clubs and chains and maces and shit.
Correct.
And like I'm at the light. This is like the longest light. And I'm like, damn. I realized at that time, I'm like, these niggas different. Like
Yes.
like they was ready to get it on. And if one of them had a hammer, they would have pulled it out. Like
Correct.
they would have definitely went like that. And I'm like, yo, like this is, so the mentality is already there in a lot of people they ready to get it in. They ready to
Yes,
get it
sir.
in.
And
So
we live that. We live in that combat zone every day. That knife that he was carrying was not necessarily for anybody at the track meet, dog. That's the knife for the route home. You know what I'm saying? I don't think motherfuckers really understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, hey, take this knife to the track meet and first white boy that push you around, stab you shit through the chest. No. When you're on the way home, every motherfucker that got their pants slagging around their ass, you know, talking shit to your girl or talking shit to you, like trying to punk you for your money or whatever, you got a little ways till you get to your block or whatever the fuck may be. That's like a normalized thing for black kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't think niggas understand that. Why they, you know, why they're judging and going through all of that other shit. The knife wasn't necessarily for him, dog.
Right.
And you know, why you bringing a knife to the track meet? No, motherfucker, it's for the walk home, bitch. You don't know you don't know where I'm from.
Yeah. No, it's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? And I just said, you know, the point of all this gathering, I'm glad you were available on this Sunday, bro. You know, so we can offer to the people and shit. I just was like, we have to prepare our children better, critical thinking wise, my lord. It's like, you know, there's several gears that you can shift into before death. You know what I'm saying? And before you offer death to somebody, dog, because, you know, we're on the grid now. Ain't no doing that and getting away from nothing, dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the system is different in certain areas. Sometimes they throw you beneath the jail, and sometimes they can sympathize with your situation, bro. Nothing is promised.
Right.
You know, they'll find a way to twist this law. These laws were not created for us. You know, and condolence to the young man that was killed and everything and his family. I don't think on sided. I don't have a side on this, you know, because I don't push for death on no level. I feel that there should have been a better discipline. I'm now looking at the security. I'm now looking at how we're raising our children. When somebody approaches you and do whatever, these are a few options that you can do. Practice with your kids, man. Niggas be, you know, these young parents be now, you know, smoking weed with their kids and shit, man. Stop that bullshit and train with them. Do something, you know, like do something, my nigga. You know, it has to be something better than what the fuck is going on, dog. This is poor, man. This is
I
poor
think
thinking.
before we move on to the next case, I think the big, and this is great that we're talking about this, man, because whenever a problem, for me, I look at it at work, whenever an issue arises at work, something gets fucked up or something, and I've been as I look at what happened, how did it happen, why, and what could have been done to prevent it, and what can we do in the future? Now, what do we do to take steps in the future to make sure it doesn't happen again? And none of that's being talked about.
No, it's not.
We're not really talking about news, big news, small news. Nobody's talking about why did this happen, right? This is the first. You and I mean, I'm not saying I don't hear this conversation about why it happened and what can we do to prevent it. And I think that's problematic in and of itself. That like, we're looking at, we're blinded by the other news, which is important, but it's like, it's like if my dad used to be in the news, and he would say, like, if there's a house on fire and then someone coming out of and someone like getting in an ambulance, you leave the house on fire because that's going to still be there, and you go deal with the person in the ambulance because that's more pressing. I feel like it's like, what's more pressing is how did this shit happen, like we were saying, and what, again, like what can we do? And we keep going back to it. The training was there was none, clearly.
There was no training, bro. There's no preparation for people in critical situations. If somebody's in the library letting off rounds, what do? You don't holler and panic and run it out of the building and get out the building like, I made it. You got to make sure everybody gets out of that fucking building correctly and not just wait for authorities. You got to have some kind of strategy, dog. A safe room or something for these children to participate in, how to handle the situation. Think, don't panic. You know what I'm saying? You got to work with them, dog, because you're responsible for them for 6 hours, dog. And we're at work trusting you, trusting the coaches and stuff, the stuff that you vetted to be able to teach and guide these children or whatever. Y'all got to have a different strategy, dog. Yeah. These motherfuckers should not be moving around. I don't give a fuck if it's raining or not. Why are you separate from the class? Why are you roaming?
Yeah, why is your team, why are you not even with your team?
Correct. Why are you roaming? What the fuck were you doing?
Because you know how, like, we've seen, like, even like this, and we brought sports, and if you've seen it, we've seen even like in football or basketball, if a dude from another team gets in your huddle or something or whatever, comes over to by your bench, yo,
Yeah,
people be like, "Get the fuck up out of here."
yeah, man.
I
Because
mean,
when I first heard it, bro, I was thinking like he must have been over there kicking it with one of their shorties and they got jealous or something. This was like a spat. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you kicking it with our shorties? Like, just like out here in Bensonhurst, man, they killed Yousef Hawkins. You know what I'm saying? You going to kick it with a shorty out in whatever, Bensonhurst or whatever the fuck it is, and you end up killing this man coming over into the neighborhood and shit. Like, we can't go to different neighborhoods to move around, dog. That's crazy as fuck to me.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So very territorial mentality, man. You got to teach your kids better. Like, yo, you don't run the world. I tell my kids, like, you don't govern shit. Don't put your hands on motherfuckers at all. Learn how to defend yourself. If it comes this way, you move this way, you do this. And you should never be ground and pounding on nobody in the street. As long as you hit that motherfucker in the way where he cannot pull anything out of his pockets or put any further harm on you, the fight is done. Get the fuck out of there and get on the horn, dog. Period, dog. That's the common sense side of it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
All of
Which
that
is
other
lacking.
shit. Yeah, man. I'm gonna see you use the art that I teach you to go and take somebody who made a mistake trying to rob you, and you sitting there going to jail because you had to ground and pound this motherfucker's head and skull open and shit. Yo, nigga, you hit that motherfucker in that kneecap one time. You learn how to teach a motherfucker how to hit that chin and knock a motherfucker squarely out. You call the authority, say, yo, man, I'm leaving this motherfucker here. He's over here on such and Fifth. I'm on about my business. My name is this. And I'm out, dog. I don't have no time to play no fucking games, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you got to teach your kids that. You got to teach your kids that, man, because once that rage and everything builds up, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, yo, nigga, I'll kill you. You don't know where the kill button is in your children when they're being programmed with death music all the fucking time, man. All right? All the fucking time. All that shit is death, sex, kill, this, that, and the other. I smoke my eye, all this other bullshit. And then when that
Yeah, they wear
moment, when
they
that
wear
moment
ski
happens,
masks to school.
huh?
They call them what do they call them? Shiesties. They wear ski mask like nigga. We from the air. If you had a ski mask on, you was about to do some grimy shit. I'm not trusting you. Like when I see these kids out, it's summer. It's like 95 degrees on. You got a ski mask. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's wild, man.
Yeah,
And
but they caught the face panties from the government, man. You put us in that fucking mandemical bullshit, and now it's an excuse for them to wear that shit and move around, dog. You come playing around. Look at these kids be playing around too much. Went and kicked the door into that man's house, playing a prank on fucking TikTok, and you kick
oh,
open his door, and he shoot you, and now he got to go through like he's a racist. He killed two white kids. Yo, why y'all playing dumbass? Y'all niggas probably popping shrooms and moving around playing shit on people's door at
it
3
was
a.m.
3 a.m.,
3 a.m.
bro.
You roll up on this nigga porch talking about we were just doing jokes and shit, nigga. He don't know. All he hears is door clicking open, and it's like, yo, nobody's gonna rob me tonight. Yo, man, like I said, the combat mentality from living in these combat zones, it automatically gets up. I'm not checking to see, is that you? Y'all playing tricks? Yo, parents, you gotta
Not in
teach your
20,
kids.
not in
Don't
2025. Not
not in
not this
2025.
ain't this
Not
ain't
ever, dog.
85. This ain't this is 2025 and people are out of their rabbit ass minds. And so if I hear any noise outside my door, I'm ready. Like I better believe I'm ready because and at 3 o'clock, yo, we played that game. We called it knock knock zoom zoom, but like same shit. If we didn't play it at 3 in the morning,
Not
play
three
that
in the
Saturday
morning.
afternoon. Come
Yeah,
on,
no
man.
doubt, bro. But you know
You better
that goofy shit is ridiculous, dog. You gotta teach your kids like, yo, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Cut the goofy shit out. Do it early so they don't get older and make mistakes like that.
you
You
got
live in an environment with a passive parent that lets you just go ahead and do whatever you're gonna do. You feel to your mind. That's gonna be the result. So what is this guy now? He's racist. He's a killer now, just in protecting his home. Again, self-defense. And now if the judge looks at it, depending on what town you're in or whatever, you know what I'm saying? The result of the case can dictate how the public thinks. Like, wow, somebody can just come kick open my door and I can't even defend myself. It was a real robber. And I'm shooting back and I'm shooting like, yo, freeze, lay on the ground, whatever case may be. My door has been broken in. Y'all, I'm threatened at my life. You telling me I can't defend myself now because kids are goofy and they like to play TikTok, man? Get the fuck out of here, dog. You know what I'm saying? We gotta teach our kids better, dog. Teach your kids, cut the goofy shit out. You know, it's a serious environment now. People ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with the fucking president or any of this shit, dog. President's not telling you to go run TikTok or put the knife in the boy's chest or none of that shit. Stay off his dick, man, and grow up, man. This is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You got to teach your kids better. You know what I'm saying? We're not teaching them. We're just letting them go. The internet is raising them. That's ridiculous. The internet is raising them. The mentality of the fucking internet is raising the kids, bro. You're teaching them all the shit, and they're not even learning the self-defense. That's a human conversation, not for no machine to teach them. Go to YouTube episode 9 and learn how to self-defense. You're supposed to be talking to them daily. What do you see on your route home? I'm gonna walk with you from school to see what kind of route you taking, to make sure I know motherfuckers on the route, and I can tell you, yo, anything happen, go to that spot, knock on the door there, and that nigga will contact me, and I'll be down here. Whatever the fuck, if your phone gets taken, if your shit gets smashed. Come on, man. You can't assume the shit all the time. I got the tracker on the phone. Yo, I take that little phone and throw it in the sewer, bitch. They'll put your fucking children in a fucking van and ditch that fucking shit to the river. Then what? You haven't taught them how to get out of a situation like that?
Right.
Come on, dog.
Yeah.
They selling kids like fucking like toys and shit, nigga. You crazy as fuck. You gotta teach a young girl how to stomp toes and break a kneecap, man. Rip a motherfucker's eyelash off his fucking face, nigga. You crazy. You gotta teach them some real shit. Teach them all this twerk shit and eyelash and pussy shit, nigga. Come on, man. I don't mean to get so amped with it, my lord, but it just disturbed me, and I felt to get this shit off my spirit, man, and have a good conversation about it, man. I hope, people take something with the math, man.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say when you pick a topic, because usually I pick them or whatever, and we talk about it, but I suggest them. I was like, damn, whenever Brother Jay picks a topic, we about to be on it popping. So we got something to talk about. But again, before we jump to the next thing, I mean, ultimately, it's a tragic situation for both of these children, both of these families, and then the debris that comes from it between race relations, and then we're going back, just recapping real quick, is that ultimately that the proper training wasn't there for both of these young men, and parameter things weren't set into place to help this, avoid this thing from happening. So hopefully we learn from it. It doesn't seem like we are. It seems like we're only sinking lower. But let's move on to the next case. You wanted to bring up the I think the Rodney Hinton case too. The case of the father who saw a body cam video. This is in Cincinnati area. Saw body cam footage of his son being killed by the police after allegedly pointing a gun at them, running away, having a gun, stolen car situation. He said he wigged out and went and found this dude and ran this dude over. So since you're bringing these up, where do you want to set it off with that?
All right, let's start at the beginning of the situation. Now, I've been trying to watch this thing since it came up, because what I get from it is that, whatever the decision is, people will start taking their own vengeance. You can give birth to a million Charles Bronsons right now if you don't discipline this situation correctly, because people will start to take their own justice. You know what I'm saying? So my thing was this: if it's a car that's stolen, and this is also a situation in training, if a car is stolen and they've evacuated the car to leave, if they're not pointing the weapon at you, retrieve the car. Fuck the individuals. This is as I'm not a law officer person or whatever. I'm not in the field. I'm sure they go through a lot of shit. But if the directive was there's a stolen car somewhere and everyone has evacuated the car and escaped, and the person is beyond you and they're not pointing the weapon at you, that does not give you the green light to shoot them down in cold fucking blood.
So
if the car is stolen, The people have evacuated the car. We have found the vehicle. You take your scientific CSI DNA finding motherfucking asses, comb the car, set a warrant on him. You go home, the kids get found. They ain't got shit. Where the hell are they going? Let them put the warrant out as you always do when you find shit and you can't put shit together and y'all get all scientific. Do that rather than gun the motherfucker down. Now, when the parents go to see the footage, the part where the kid dies is blurred out. So you're not even seeing, was my son tripping and pointed a weapon at an officer so I can say in my mind, all right, nigga, you fucked up. You pointed the gun at the cop, nigga, and you lost the draw.
That's a
all right
problem right there.
All right. So if he lost the draw, then the real nigga's gonna say, all right, man, I can't say that you shot my son in the back or shot him down in cold blood on some, nigga monkey shit, as we usually see. So we can't see that on the footage. So if that's blurred out and you sitting here like, yo, you might just kill my fucking son, you blowing your wig at that point, dog.
Right.
Now, I'm not justifying the madness, dog, but imagine being at a point, yo, your son left that day and then he didn't come home, and then somebody's telling you come to a precinct and you can't even put two and two together and say, how did my son die? Well, we don't know. The footage was blurred. That's got to make you ticked off the gate. Then the second shit is that if you're knocked out in the vehicle in the passenger seat, how do you get arrested as the nigga who did the crime? You're unconscious in the passenger seat. Somebody else was driving the fucking vehicle, an older woman.
Oh, so this part I'm not privy to. So that somebody else was driving.
Somebody else was driving the fucking car. 4 witnesses have said this.
Gotcha.
Now immediately you go to the media. Now has already painted the picture like somebody killed the cop, okay, but we didn't have the person that actually was in the other side of the vehicle.
Gotcha.
It's in the car, then you wrap the whole story around it like we got him.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
So
No,
what I'm saying is this is the information that's pouring out. Like, I don't know all the facts.
Yeah.
But I know from the beginning, when you shot that kid and he didn't point the gun at you, is already a wrongful death. Just retrieve the fucking car. The call was for a stolen car, which was really under some repossessed shit or whatever case may be. But the key is we got the vehicle back. When they do all the little dusting and all that shit, all the fingerprints, niggas are sitting in the car smoking, doing whatever they doing, get the DNA and all that shit. That way you're not into killing people on the fucking street for some fucking metal vehicle bullshit.
Right. So one thing I want to add on to, just because it's just funny that we brought this up. So my buddy, a man just stayed with me. He just left a few hours ago. He's a 25-year veteran of the Atlantic City Police Department, detective. And so we were talking about this. I said, I got Brother Jay on. We rocking out tomorrow. We're going to do our show and talked about this. And I asked him the exact same question. So allegedly, from what I understand, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because this case I'm not too familiar with, Allegedly, he was supposedly the stories that he was pointing the gun, right, running away.
Right.
So I said, fam, he's running away.
How
he said, but here's what he said. This is what he said, and it was very disheartening to hear this. He said, yes, but in most police departments, he said, if they turn, this is what he said. It made sense once he said it, but it was like, fuck. He said, if you're running, and he said, if you see the gun first, if you see the gun and they have the gun, he said, if they turn, you're actually able to shoot because he said the second person's reaction is slower than the first person's reaction. So me turning, I got the jump on you, right? So he said, if they turn, you can actually shoot them just for turning. In most police departments, he said it won't look good publicly, but it would be considered okay because they turned and pointed at it because they turned like and
Hey,
that
if the
so
footage was not scrambled and we can see that, like I said,
oh yeah
if you lost the draw, then you deal with what it is, nigga. You tried
yeah
to put the draw on the sheriff in the middle of town, nigga, and you got gunned down. I can't go and start killing all the deputies and all the motherfuckers. You challenged the sheriff,
yeah.
nigga.
But the big asterisk there is that there, and this is always not always. I hate saying always or never. This is a problem in a lot of these cases. There's a fucking asterisk where we can't see the footage now, but we got problems. So now you got some explaining to do.
Correct.
Because again, like you said, if we could see the footage and say,
We
okay,
can we can
you started bucking at him,
correct.
all right, then.
Correct.
But there's always a fucking little little nuance there that now we got to look at. Oh well, you know.
Yeah, because
Some
the cities are too equipped right now. We got footage when they shot that dude in the head in Manhattan. You had every angle from when he got off the bike to when he got into the subway, the whole shit. Why don't we have the full grid of both of these situations if the city is on the motherfucking grid, bro? What are we talking about here? And this is the type of shit that makes people go mad. Like I said, we live in this. If the Hinton Senior is living in this all the motherfucking time, if you're living in the hood, whatever the fuck he was living at as a black man, you're living in this kind of fucking, paranoia environment. Like, don't fuck up. Don't stop at the light with your light, your back light fucked up, nigga. You might not go home, bitch, if you look like you're resisting arrest or anything. We live under that pressure all the fucking time.
right.
So now your
Right.
son lost to this, and you can't even put the final conclusion on this shit. They done blurred out where their story has evidence now.
Right.
So now when everything happens, you're unconscious in the passenger seat. Whoever was driving excuses himself from the vehicle. I don't know how the fuck that happens. And now this man is on fucking talking about giving the death penalty, all this other shit because he was the last man standing at the accident or whatever case may be that took this man out. It's ridiculous, family. And I'm waiting to learn more.
So, in my opinion, unfortunately, so if we look at the action of the father, like I always say, there's double standards and shit, and you have my thing with double standards is you kind of figure out what they are and kind of move accordingly and adjust and do what you have to do, because. And so my thing is with this, I don't foresee the father getting off in this case. Do you? I mean, like for that, like,
Hey,
I mean, I'm just looking. I mean, based on what we know, I'm just because I'm like, damn, like, because I play it back, I'm like, wow, like, I get it. I mean, my temperature runs hot. I could see that, but I'm like, damn, like, how do you get out of this one?
where would the case begin if he wasn't driving, bro? If the camera showed that this man was unconscious in the passenger seat, you can't drive the vehicle from the passenger seat, family.
Right. Hopefully.
Okay? You cannot drive the fucking car from the passenger seat. So if this man was knocked out in the passenger seat and you created this whole fabrication that this nigga left, he was angry, he drove through the streets and all this other shit, and the footage doesn't match that, the case is lost.
Yeah. This is a good point right here. I'll pull it up real quick for we. Oh, you can't see it all. It says the cops be shooting dudes without reason. The son pulled a gun for real. He said they lost the footage. Police were wrong. He said they don't have the footage because the police were wrong. He said the son pulled a gun for real. Exactly. They would have shown it to shut the story down.
Exactly. They tried to shut it down. And as a father, what the fuck do you have to go for that for? So whatever family member he went to see, they weren't having that shit. Their shit was like, yo, you just killed one of mine. I'm going to take one of fucking yours. And I'm not saying this to defend that thought. Again, the training is lacking on both fucking sides. Okay? If the vehicle was stolen, retrieve the fucking vehicle. Do not shoot the people inside the car like animals. They're not gonna freeze. They don't want to go to fucking jail. Show us the footage. Show this motherfucker pointing the gun at you so we can move on. It never was done, dog.
Right.
Then You're going to blame the fucking vengeance on the father. The nigga wasn't even driving the fucking car. He's unconscious in the passenger seat when you pulled him out. The person driving was not there. 4 witnesses said this and even had shit on footage, and none of that shit was released. None of the street cams, none of it was released, bro.
Yeah.
But yet we're supposed to make this deduction. So in the meanwhile, where there's no footage, it's becoming racist again, just like the shit we just talked about before this. It became white kid, black kid stabbing white kid instead of wrongdoing, bad training, bad security. Same thing with this, bad training. If you retrieve the car, the job is done. You were called for stolen car, not to bring back the stolen car and the dead body. That's fucking crazy to me.
No, you're right, and I agree. The training isn't there on both sides. I mean, or both in all areas, because when you look at the police department's training, and it's kind of crazy. I did also ask my friend about this. I said, "Yo, why can't y'all just shoot somebody in the leg and call it?" He said, "No." He said, "No." He said our job is, because we're a paramilitary organization. My aunt said this was a cop out in L.A. Said we're supposed to neutralize the threat. So if period, like,
yes,
and that
if you become the threat.
He says if you shoot somebody in the leg, they can still maybe come at you. So I was like, damn. So there's a lot to me. I'm like, that's a bit extreme, but
it is, because you can't even surrender. If I came out of the car like this with my hands up, you might feel like, oh, this is weird. I'm still feeling threats. All the rest of his kids are scattering. The moment is hot, and I got my hands up, and the first thing, blah, blah, blah. Because you're thinking neutralize the threat. There's no balance. There's no balance between the extremes. It's like if you stand down, what are you in threat to die now? You're the target. So the thing is to be, like you said, to be up on them. Some people don't have a good judgment of what is a threat and what isn't, man. We don't know who to fucking trust in your force. Every cop is not a good cop.
Right.
It's
no, it's another tragic situation. What's that?
Yeah, man.
I was gonna say just another tragic situation in terms of just from both angles, and then also again just so again, if we're trying to be proactive and looking at preventative measures, we think what better we definitely think there's to be some more police reform as far as how they're going about shit, right? I mean, that's probably one big thing.
Yeah,
right?
we have to start again. We have to start talking to our young men, because if he is carrying a weapon, there is a reason for that. You're gang affiliated. You feel threatened for your life in the community, whatever the fuck it is. You have to be in their lifestyle, dog. If your child comes home for dinner and does the regular thing, kid from school, so on and so on, you got to be a little bit deeper in his life, dog.
Right.
You got to, because there's too many options to fall off. There's too many organizations that you can get down with that make the trip to school easier. If you're down with a clique, you ain't never going to get jumped. And we don't get enough. I don't know how old these kids were, or whatever case may be. When they showed the young man, he was in a football uniform. So I'm thinking like he's a junior or senior, some high school shit or something, dog. I don't know where the fuck son was.
They're like 17, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, man, I don't know. So it's like, yo, man, these niggas are just sitting in the car smoking some herb. You pull up like, yo, whatever. They scatter and get away. Come on, dog. I saw a white dude get out of his car, put a rifle dead to the police before he got out of his car. You're pointing the gun at him. They didn't kill him, bro. They didn't kill him. And they tried to use that as a shit. You saying you killed the boy because he pointed the gun at you. The dude got out of his car for a traffic stop, pointed the rifle, clear it. You talking to me? You talking to me? The cop backed off. That's fucked up to me.
Yeah, and that's the double. Before we get out of here, that's the double standard, and that's That's what it is.
That has
I
to be
mean,
addressed, and you got to tell your
yeah,
kids there's a double standard. Don't be out here on no foolish ass shit. They're killing you like animals, dog.
exactly. You have to, and that's the people thing that people maybe not want to get it. You don't have to agree with it or like it, but you have to. It's in your best interest to accept it and understand it and learn how to adjust and figure it out because we're not making the
Yeah,
rules, and so it's like it is a double. That's what I'm saying. You got to figure it out, man. It is a double standard. Like, Chris. Before we get out of here, Chris Rock did a joint video, famous shit, how not to get fucked up by the police, and it was funny, but it made a lot of sense. I mean,
yeah,
it's like you gotta know how to move and whatever. Each situation calls for a different way to move.
yes,
You and so a smart person understands that you may have to adjust and eat a little shit for a minute to stay alive.
correct,
Figure it out to stay alive.
correct.
Okay. Yes. When I get pulled over, yes, officer, no, sir. License out, B. On the fucking dash, ready to go. Here you go. Yes, sir. Insurance, all that shit. We good. Da 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 da. Like, I don't like doing it, but I want to stay alive and get home.
Yes,
So, you know. So anyway, that hour went by quick, but I'm really glad that you brought up these two important points, and just in terms of like looking at it in a different way of like preventative measures. These situations could have been avoided, and then the fallout from them is like
yes.
massive. So, but thank you for bringing this up, man. This was I knew, like I said, I knew when you bring it up, but it's important. He got to get this out. I was like, he got to get it out.
Yeah, man, it was on my mind, man. We always get good topics here, man. So I said, let's bring it home. I'm tired of talking about all these hip hop fucking junkies and fools and shit. They don't want to get right, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some real deal shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Real talk.
Absolutely.
Real talk.
And so
thank everybody for tuning in as well, man. One
yeah,
love to everyone. Blessings,
for
man.
And we'll get this up on the YouTube channel. I'm going to go before IG shuts it down. We'll get this up on the YouTube channel. All prior episodes are up on there. We typically do this the first, I believe it's the first Monday of every month.
Yes.
So we'll be back again rather shortly, but we keep it going. So make sure you rock with Brother Jay, of course, and the Carrying the Culture platform. And that's where you'll find everything. And we'll talk soon, man. Be well, and be safe out there.
All right, my Lord. Peace to the God. Give my regards to your family, man.
Absolutely. Same here, family. Peace, brother.
All right,